Anies Baswedan increases Jakarta's provincial minimum wage to 4.6 million rupiah. Health Ministry detects new cases of Omicron variant. Good evening, viewers. Market Headlines is ready to provide you information from business, economic, and capital market sector. And as the pandemic is still ongoing, we'll provide you the latest COVID-19 information. Please stay safe by taking some simple precautions such as physical distancing, wearing a mask, avoiding crowds, cleaning your hands, and having less mobility. And with me, Fajar Wayong, this is Market Headlines. Let's open up market headlines. To reduce fuel consumption and CO2 emissions, the government through Ministry of Industry targets domestic production of electric cars and buses to reach 600,000 units by 2030.
The government targets domestic productions of electric cars and buses to reach 600,000 units by 2030. This is to reduce fuel consumptions by 3 million barrels and reduce CO2 emissions by 1.4 million tons.
Dalam pengembangan ekosistem industri KBLBB pada tahun 2030, industri dalam negeri ditargetkan dapat memproduksi mobil listrik dan bis listrik sebanyak 600.000 unit, sehingga dengan angka tersebut dapat mengurangi konsumsi BBM sebesar 3 juta barel dan menurunkan emisi CO2 sebanyak 1,4 juta ton.
Minister of Industry Agus Gumiwang also said that the productions of electric motorcycles in 2030 is targeted at 2.45 million units, with an estimated reduction in fuel consumptions of 3 million barrels and a reductions in CO2 emissions of 1.1 million tons. In addition, to follow up on the commitment at COP26 Glasgow to continue to move forward by using the electric vehicle ecosystem. IDX Channel reports.
Transportation Minister sent off the first export shipment of vehicles from Patimban Port, West Java. The export of vehicles from the port was expected to increase national logistics competitiveness. Transportation Minister Budi Karya Sumadi sent off the first export shipment of vehicles to various countries from Pelabuhan Patimban International, Subang, West Java. The minister said that the export of vehicles from the port was expected to increase national logistics competitiveness.
Pesan Presiden bahwa Patimban adalah satu upaya pemerintah untuk meningkatkan indeks logistik nasional dan berkolaborasi dengan Tanjung Priok untuk menjadi new hub yang memiliki daya saing di kawasan Asia Tenggara. And PT PPI can improve the export and make it the export is better compared before.
According to Sumadi, Patimban Port was built as part of the government's efforts to increase the national logistics index in order to compete with Southeast Asian countries. The Transportation Minister asked Pelabuhan Patimban International as the manager of Patimban Port to cooperate with Pelindo in order to achieve that end. The minister said he also expected Patimban Port to be used to export other national products besides vehicles in the future. IDX Channel reports. Jakarta Governor Anies Baswedan has decided to revise and raise the minimum wage in the province up to 5.1% to reach 4.64 million rupiah. The governor explained that the decision was also based on a review and rediscussion with all related stakeholders.
Jakarta Governor Anies Baswedan has decided to revise and raise the minimum wage in the province up to 5.1% to reach 4,641,854 rupiah from the initial increase of 0.85% to 4,453,935 rupiah. In the official statement, the governor noted that with the increase in minimum wage, the government hopes that the purchasing power of people or workers would not decrease. The governor noted that the government decided to revise the raise based on a study conducted by Bank of Indonesia that forecasts Indonesia's economic growth to lie in the range of 4.7 to 5.5% in 2022. Baswedan explained that the decisions was also based on the review and rediscussions with all related stakeholders with the spirits of prudence in the midst of the economic pace of Jakarta, which is starting to move. The governor emphasized that the decisions to increase Jakarta province's minimum wage upholds the principle of justice for workers, companies, and the Jakarta provincial government. IDX Channel reports.
And we're moving on to global update. Germany bans most travelers from Britain to try to slow the spread of the Omicron variant. Meanwhile, the Bank of Russia delivered its second 100 basis point hike in interest rates this year. More stories on today's International Minute. Germany has become the latest European country to ban most travelers from Britain to try to slow the spread of Omicron variant. German nationals and residents will still be allowed to enter from the UK. They must have a negative test and quarantine for 2 weeks, regardless of whether they have been vaccinated. The measures take effect from Sunday evening. The Netherlands has begun a strict lockdown over Christmas amid concerns over the Omicron coronavirus variant. Non-essential shops, bars, gyms, hairdressers, and other public venues are closed until at least 14 January. 2 guests per household will be allowed, 4 over the holidays. Prime Minister Mark Rutte said the measures were unavoidable. Countries across Europe have been tightening restrictions as the heavily mutated variant spreads. Brexit Minister Lord Frost has resigned from the UK government over concerns about the current direction of travel. In a letter to Boris Johnson, the peer who led Brexit negotiations said he hoped the PM would not be tempted by coercive measures to tackle COVID. Earlier this week, Mr. Johnson faced the largest rebellion of his premiership from Tory MPs over measures to limit the spread of the new Omicron variant. The Bank of Russia delivered its second 100 basis point hike in interest rates this year and warned that monetary tightening isn't over yet as a raft of factors, from labor shortage to geopolitical tensions, complicate its fight with inflation. The central bank's 7th straight increase took the key rate to 8.5%, in line with the expectations of the majority of economists in a Bloomberg survey. IDX Channel reports. Stay tuned on market headlines. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Ingin menjalani kehidupan yang mapan dan masa depan yang sejahtera? Sikapi uang dengan bijak. Mulailah berinvestasi di pasar modal. Dengan membeli saham melalui Bursa Efek maupun perusahaan sekuritas, Anda dapat menikmati hasil keuntungan dari perusahaan-perusahaan besar yang tersedia. Pastikan Anda berinvestasi di perusahaan yang memiliki izin resmi. Cerdas mengelola, masa depan sejahtera. Otoritas Jasa Keuangan, lembaga pengawas industri jasa keuangan yang terpercaya.
Kementerian Pariwisata dan Ekonomi Kreatif secara tegas akan memperketat bagi para wisatawan asing yang akan liburan ke Bali.
Ya, nantinya wisatawan asing harus melakukan swab PCR sebelum keberangkatan.
Para wisatawan-wisatawan yang sehat, para wisatawan yang sudah tervaksin.
Selama pandemi, banyak armada taksi dari Taksi di Thailand menganggur.
Berencana akan melepaskan saham holding BUMN pertambangan Main ID di Bursa Efek Indonesia.
Buat seorang Pani tertarik dengan visual merchandising.
Mengambil pendidikan itu atau tidak, itu hanya berapa persen membantunya, tapi sisanya memang sebagai visual merchandiser itu harus bisa menganalisa atau memiliki analytic skill yang baik untuk bisa peka melihat potensi dari sebuah brand ataupun membantu kekurangan brand di dalam visual seperti itu.
Para petinggi negara anggota G20 sepakat untuk mengurangi pemanasan global hingga 1,5 derajat Celcius.
Kita bisa target kita maju, tetapi dengan bantuan teknologi dan investasi dari internasional.
Kementerian Keuangan menilai pemulihan ekonomi akibat pandemi COVID-19 belum berjalan secara merata di seluruh.
Pemulihan ekonomi global tidak merata.
Welcome back on Market Headlines. President Joko Widodo mentioned that the total village fund seems to always increase every year. The president even said that the funds disbursed reached 400 trillion rupiah from 2015 to 2021.
President Joko Widodo explained that the total village funds disbursed reached 400.1 trillion rupiah from 2015 to 2021. The number seems to always increase every year. Jokowi detailed village funds in 2015 amounting to 20.8 trillion rupiah, in 2016 amounting to 46.7 trillion rupiah, in 2017 amounting to 59.8 trillion rupiah, in 2019 amounting to 69.8 trillion rupiah, in 2020 amounting to 71.1 trillion rupiah, and in 2021 amounting to 72 trillion rupiah.
Perlu saya ingatkan bahwa penyaluran dana desa sejak tahun 2015 sampai saat ini kita sudah menyalurkan 400,1 triliun rupiah. Lagi 400,1 triliun itu duit gede sekali. Begitu salah sasaran, begitu tata kelolanya tidak baik, bisa lari kemana-mana. Ini perlu saya ingatkan.
The funds were used to build infrastructure in each village. For example, 227,000 kilometers of village roads, 71,000 units of irrigations, 1.3 million meters of bridge, and 10,300 units of village markets. Then the constructions of 38,000 units of integrated service paths, 12,000 units of village maternity homes, and 38 million meters of drainage. Jokowi warned local governments to manage village funds carefully. IDX Channel reports.
Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy Sandiaga Uno revealed that the stimulus for the National Economic Recovery Program for the creative industry in the film subsector had been disbursed for 114.88 billion rupiah to date. This stimulus has absorbed up to 14,671 direct creative workers. The program stimulus provided was in the form of assistance for promotion, production and pre-production schemes for national films. According to him, the COVID-19 pandemic has had a major impact on all sectors, one of which is the film sector, thus hindering the progress of the industry and making films seem to be running in place. He continued, many film workers lost their income and source of income because production activities had stopped, including due to PPKM, which had lasted for several months. As a result, the closing of cinemas is the biggest income for the film industry. It is known that cinemas contribute more than 90% of film revenue sources in Indonesia. Luckily, continued Sandiaga, now cinemas are reopening while still implementing health protocols. It is hoped that the positive impact on the film industry will soon be seen. The Indonesian Health Ministry has again detected 2 patients infected with the Omicron variant. Both patients were confirmed to have contracted Omicron after undergoing quarantine for 10 days following their return from abroad.
Indonesian Health Ministry has again detected 2 patients infected with the Omicron variant in the country, thereby bringing the total case count until Friday to 3, according to the ministry's official. Tarmizi remarked that the 2 patients were detected following the results of an examination of samples from 5 likely Omicron cases, wherein the sufferers had recently returned from abroad. Both patients were confirmed to have contracted Omicron after undergoing mandatory quarantine for 10 days following their return from abroad. Tarmizi noted that such strict quarantines showed that the protection system sought by the government to prevent transmission from COVID-19 sufferers coming from abroad was running well. Following the discovery of 2 new cases, Tarmizi appealed to the public to remain vigilant and to not travel abroad, given the high rate of spread of the variant. Meanwhile, the Indonesian government urged to increase surveillance at international travel entry at airports across the country to stem the spread of the Omicron variant of COVID-19. IDX Channel reports.
The Ministry of Finance predicts that the state budget deficit in 2021 will only reach 5.1% to 5.4%, which is still below the previous target of 5.7%. Minister of Finance Sri Mulyani revealed that this estimate was due to the economic recovery that occurred in Indonesia, so that it had a positive impact on the state budget deficit this year. In addition, the national economic recovery is also considered to be running faster and stronger than the government expected. This was due to the strengthening of state income and rising commodity prices. The reduction in the fiscal deficit is also in line with the government's efforts to revive the state budget, as well as return the fiscal deficit to below 3% in 2023.
The budget was designed with a deficit of 5.7%, but due to the strong recovery as well as strong revenue, commodity boom, we are expecting that the deficit will be between 5.1 to 5.4%, much lower than what we initially designed. Next year, in 2022, we are designing our budget with a deficit 4.8% of GDP. But this design was not yet taking into account some of the reform that I'm going to explain later on taxation and the fiscal side.
And stay with us, Market Headlines will be back with information from the capital market.
Papa pergi dulu ya.
Aku pergi main ya. Mama, nih.
Keadaan memang sudah membaik, tapi kita tetap harus hati-hati dan tetap memakai masker. Tetap waspada, COVID-19 masih ada.
Wakil Presiden Maruf Amin menegaskan pengembangan industri halal menjadi salah satu fokus pemerintah dalam memajukan sektor industri di Indonesia.
Kita mampu untuk menjadi produsen halal terbesar.
Para petinggi negara anggota G20 sepakat untuk mengurangi pemanasan global hingga 1,5 derajat Celcius.
Kita bisa target kita maju, tetapi dengan bantuan teknologi dan investasi dari internasional.
Kementerian Keuangan menilai pemulihan ekonomi akibat pandemi COVID-19 belum berjalan secara merata di seluruh.
Pemulihan ekonomi global tidak merata.
Awali hari Anda dengan beragam informasi bisnis terkini yang kami kemas dalam berita teraktual dan berkualitas. Power Breakfast, informasi terkini seputar ekonomi, bisnis, pasar modal, dan industri kreatif yang dikemas secara ringan. New Screen menyajikan informasi ekonomi, bisnis, dan keuangan. Market Headline menayangkan berita ekonomi dan bisnis dalam bahasa Inggris. Saksikan program-program berita ekonomi dan bisnis terkini langsung dari sumbernya, live hanya di IDX Channel. Your Trustworthy Economic Business, and Capital Market Channel.
Welcome back on Market Headlines. At the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement earlier today, JCI was open at the level of 6,571.34. And then approaching the closing time on the first session, the index was on the level of 6,563.71. And then the index was showing weakening trend by the second session closing time. Index was closed at the level of 6,547.11. And in short, JCI went down 0.83%. And next, we're going to see the sectoral movement. Leading the dynamics of today's trading, we got technology went up 0.95%. Health sector went up 0.13%. Meanwhile, industry went down 1.52%. And cyclic sector went down 1.48%. And we're moving on to top gainers and top losers. Here are the key highlights from today's trading session. Bank Rakyat Indonesia went up 0.24% to the level of 4,120 rupiah per share. MLPL went up 5.56% to the level of 380 rupiah per share. TNCA went up 24.76% to the level of 2,620 rupiah per share. And WOWS went up 17.19% to the level of 75 rupiah per share. And meantime, the top losers for today's trading, we got BBYB went down 2.59% to the level of 2,630 rupiah per share. Bank Sentral Asia went down 1.67% to the level of 7,376 rupiah per share. Arso went down 0.79% to the level of 15,775 rupiah per share. And Telkom, in the top losers, went down 0.49% to the level of 4,080 rupiah per share. And next, we're going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. Open at the level of 14,380. Rupiah was also showing strengthening trends toward US dollar, and it was closed at the level of 14,344. And in summary, rupiah went up 0.42%. In line with the high demand for medical equipment needs, Itama Ranoraya targets operating revenue growth to reach 130% by 2022. Itama Ranoraya targets operating revenue growth to reach 130% by 2022. In line with the high demand for the company's products for vaccinations and other medical equipment needs. President Director of Itama Ranoraya Heru Firdausi Sharif explained that next year the company projects that the demand for pandemic products such as rapid test or syringe will still be high. Moreover, the government also plans to carry out booster vaccinations which will support the company's demand growth. Heru added that the vaccination booster previously mentioned will also support the demand for syringe supplied by Wanjak and distributed by the company. In fact, the company projects that the demand for syringe will be the same as in 2021. IDX Channel reports. Bluebird is ready to add 5,000 fleets in 2022. In order for the plan to run smoothly, the company has prepared a capital expenditure of up to 1.2 trillion rupiah. Bluebird Director Eko Yuliantoro explained that the rejuvenation in question is for taxi and non-taxi vehicles owned by the company. This step was taken by the company in line with the potential for mobility recovery that will occur in 2022 and increasing demand. There are several reasons that make Bluebird believe that next year demand will begin to recover. First, during December 2021, the company managed to record an increase in revenue due to high demand. In fact, on a monthly basis, current income has reached 80% when compared to conditions before the pandemic. As for the third quarter of 2021, Bird posted revenue of 1.44 trillion rupiah. This amount is down 6.63% from the same period in the previous year of 1.55 trillion rupiah. The company experienced a net loss of 66.19 billion rupiah. Metrodata Electronics is targeting net profit in 2022 to reach 612 billion rupiah or grow 20% year-on-year. Metrodata Electronics is targeting net profit in 2022 to reach 612 billion rupiah or grow 20% year-on-year from the projected net profit in 2021 of 510 billion rupiah. Metrodata President Director Susanto Jaya estimates that the net profit in 2021 can grow by 40% to 510 billion rupiah. According to him, the net profit target in 2022 will be supported by the company's total revenue next year, which can reach 20 trillion rupiah or grow 15% year-on-year from the projected revenue in 2021, which is 17.4 trillion rupiah. The estimated revenue value in 2021 is equivalent to 25% growth year-on-year. Meanwhile, according to the Director of Metrodata, Shafril Effendi, until the end of this year, the company has been able to record recurring income from the solution business, reaching 50% from the position at the end of the third quarter of 2021 at 39%. IDX Channel reports. And step aside from market condition as the efforts in achieving herd immunity is still going on. Here is an update data about COVID-19 vaccinations in Indonesia. And the news close our market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, your trustworthy economic, business and capital market channel. And even though the pandemic situation is getting better, the discipline of wearing masks must be maintained even though we have been vaccinated. Moreover, ahead of Christmas and the New Year, we are appealed to limit activities to prevent a spike in COVID-19 cases. So stay alert and stay safe. I'm Fajar Wayong. Have a nice evening.
Seiring meluasnya cakrawala investasi di tengah pasar saham yang dinamis. Analisa mendalam diperlukan untuk menemukan saham berorientasi value yang menghasilkan kinerja yang tinggi. IDX Channel akan mengulas isu pasar dan pergerakan saham terkini. Saksikan ulasannya bersama analis terpercaya hanya di IDX Channel.